What's up, fight fans? My name is Kevin Thomas Jr. Thanks for tuning into my channel. This episode, I'm going to be talking about the fight between Ciryl Gane and Bones Jones. Now, we all know the hype. Not even a hype. It's a belief, a true belief, a good one too, that Bones Jones is the greatest of all time in the UFC. And on Ciryl Gane's side, he's the new wave of talent. Mind you, it's like a 3 or 4 year age gap between the two. Not much at all. But you do hear Bones Jones calling him a well-behaved or a good young man. You know, that's funny. The little mental slights are, they're telling. But I believe the fight's going to play out in a way that a lot of people probably don't think, which is that Ciryl Gane is going to have the upper hand, and let me explain why. Although Ciryl Gane is fairly new to MMA, he had a fight against Francis Ngannou, arguably the toughest, the current champ. You know, they're fighting for the vacant title right now, but Ciryl Gane has experience against him. And when they were at their freshest in the first round, Ciryl Gane had the upper hand with cage time and all that. To make a long story short, what I'm trying to say is Gane is strong. He wrestled and held his own with Francis Ngannou. I will argue that Francis Ngannou is much stronger than Jon Jones. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky. Jon Jones is coming from light heavyweight, and he dominated there. And I believe his main path to victory was his wrist control. He had the range, the height, the size, and he had the youth, the energy, the speed, the quickness. He was getting wrist control, holding people in place, and hammering them, right? Monster shots, and he could do that time and time again. Now, he had a hard time doing that versus Gustafsson, another guy who's 6'4", the same height as him, in the same ballpark with range. He had a hard time really getting wrist control. Now, when he fought Cormier, he dominated with the wrist control. Shogun, all those guys. Then when he got to Anthony Smith, he didn't really dominate too much with the wrist control early on. But I really want to focus on when he fought Reyes. He didn't dominate there either. And now all those three guys I just mentioned were the same height as him. It's towards his last fights at light heavyweight. But the point is, he has a hard time getting wrist control and dominating up top, which is his bread and butter, with guys the same height. Now, Ciryl Gane is that height, and his shoulders are broader. He's a true heavyweight. So to think that Jones is just going to go in there and completely dominate him wrestling, where Francis Ngannou had a real hard time doing, and it caught Gane by surprise. Mind you, he was inexperienced. Random kicks that, put him in positions to be taken down. I don't think that Gane is going to set himself up that way this fight. I think he's going to be mindful and always in position to defend this takedown. And I don't see that Jones is going to be able to just tackle him and take him down. He's going to put in major work. If you go back and watch the first round, when confronted with pressure versus Ngannou, Gane was moving his feet, and once Francis got too close, he rushed in with his speed and explosiveness, landed a knee, bear hugged him up, and drove him to the other side of the cage. Now, he can do that with Jones and control Jones on the cage. I know Jones is, and the fans are probably thinking his technique, right? His IQ is going to, dominate over Gane. But I think that sheer strength is going to come into play here. It's similar in the way it did versus Gane and Ngannou. And I think this time, Gane's going to have the upper hand. And I think he's going to be able to dictate the clinch. I think he's going to be able to defend the takedown. And I think he's going to have a great gas tank. And Jones has so many fighting styles. You can't narrow him down to one, but he does at times like to, sit on his back heel and, kind of play the waiting game in an approaching game, but in a really, relaxed manner. Not relaxed. He's ready, but he's on that back heel, right? He's sitting. What I mean to say is he's sitting down. Now, when you do that versus Gane closes that distance so well, and he's got great range. And I believe Gane's going to have the speed because he's going to have the youth on his side. He's going to have the speed over Jones. Believe it or not, that's what I think. And also the strength. So I think this is going to come down to a kickboxing match. At times, a clinch match is going to get ugly. And I notice Jones can turn the temperature up, right? He'll go for the kill, he'll go for the blood. But Gane turns it up in spurts when he needs to, and he's pretty accurate when he does it, and he doesn't back down. He actually gets mad. He's an emotional fighter, but he's a logical fighter as well. And Jones is the same way. So this is about to be a clash of the Titans. But I just feel there's one true heavyweight versus a gradual heavyweight, with age, if you will. Possibly a tweener, right? He was able to dominate at light heavyweight because he had the size, the length, and all that of a true heavyweight, but he just didn't have that girth and that strength and that weight. I feel that Gane has always, his entire life, probably had that heavyweight strength and what everything that comes with being a heavyweight type of man. You feel me? So I think that's gonna play a big factor. I think the strength. I think Gane's gonna be able to control the range. He's going to get Jones on the chase until that's not successful when he stuffs some takedowns. And then he's going to get Jones kind of sitting down, trying to play a tit for tat game. And I think that's where Gane is going to find a lot of success. He's going to be able to get in there with some explosive shots. And when it really turns all the way up, I think, like I mentioned, Gane's just going to have the strength and the technique and the reach. And another thing I want to point out, I mentioned the wrist control with Jones. Now this isn't just in the clinch for the wrist control. Jones dominates that wrist control and stand up as well. He's always, looking to grab that wrist, control it, irritate the fighter. That's one of his bread and butters. But I don't think that's gonna play a big role in this fight because of Gane really fights. You know what I'm saying? He swings his arms. He lets them things hang down. At times he keeps the right up, but the left one, he letting it swing. So I think when Jones is looking for a lot of things he's used to looking for, he's not going to find what Gane because he's such an unconventional fighter. Like from his stance, everything, his foot movement, like he'll keep them arms down and lull you and then get you at the range or get you with a kick, got you thinking something. But I think it's going to be a really creative fight in favor of Gane. And I don't think we're going to see as many, random kicks like I mentioned for Gane. I think it's going to be a much more composed fight from Gane. And I think as it unfolds, he might open up more. But I think he's going to really focus on setting the tempo of the fight or responding to the tempo and getting his way or just shutting it down when he has to. But he's definitely going to be mindful of the takedown, and I think he's going to keep himself out of danger and find comfort in the stand-up. I think as the fight goes, Gane is going to find comfort, and Jones is going to have to improvise. He's going to have to adapt, but I don't think that he's going to be able to outstrike Gane or land the harder shots. I think Gane is going to be the more powerful striker, and I think Jones is probably going to really rely on the wrestling, and I think he's going to tire out. I think he's going to get tired, and I think that Gane is used to carrying this weight where Jones is not, and so as the fight wears and things really start to get heavy, I think Gane's gonna have a little more in the gas tank, and I think he's going to exploit that, and that's when his striking and all his creative shots are gonna blossom, and it's gonna show as the fight goes. But I think early on it's gonna be kind of a grappling wrestling match. I don't think Jones is gonna like all that dancing around and coming in and out of range. I think he want to close it and clinch up and grapple, but I think he's going to find out that Gane is well prepared for everything he's going to bring, and he's not going to have as much wrist control or upper body strength to outdo Gane. I think Gane's going to have the strength. And another thing with Gane, even if he gets in trouble, it seems whenever his opponent, like Ngannou, since he's the only one that really had him in his position, when he tried to elevate, rise up for the ground and pound, Gane was able to stick like glue to his body with upper body strength and body control, flexibility, and always looking for the escape, like constantly. he was never allowing himself to be controlled. Even when Ngannou got the wrist and had control, and he thought he had some ground and pound, that lasted maybe one punch. Ngannou was strong enough to get out of it, you know, in multiple occasions. And so I think he'll be able to do the same versus Jones. So that's my take. I think that more than likely it'll probably go to decision. But if you're a betting man, I'm gonna pick Gane for the under money to get the victory. I know it's gonna be crazy if it happens, a major upset, but I think it's more realistic than not. And if you're really gully, you go with that TKO or the knockout by Gane. But I think he'll be able to probably get a decision victory. But if I were to pick a TKO, I would say it will come in the fourth round. I don't know what the over/under is, but I would predict it go over. And so that's my take. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in once again, guys. I appreciate you. Let's get this money. Peace.